Hi, I'm Coralie, the International Manager for Canstaff. Canstaff is a New Zealand-owned and operated recruitment company with offices across the world in New Zealand, Europe and Australia. We specialise in construction and engineering recruitment as well as local and global candidate sourcing. It's owned by Matt and Tracy Jones, who have been running it for 12 years. Due to recent events, we're needing skilled tradesmen to come and help rebuild Christchurch. We know that moving to New Zealand is a big decision. We know that working and being able to send money home to your family is very important. The purpose of this video is so you can fully understand everything that is involved with moving to Christchurch with Canstaff and decide if it's the right move for you, which we hope it is. Christchurch is the largest city in the South Island of New Zealand and the country's third most populous urban area. It lies 1/3 of the way down the South Island's east coast, just north of Banks Peninsula. The population of Christchurch City at the March 5th, 2013 census was 341,469 people. Christchurch generally enjoys warm, dry summers, with winter days starting off frosty but are often followed by glorious sunny days. It's a good idea to put on sunscreen during summer and wrap up warmly with jackets and thermals for winter. Steps after interview. After your interview, if we decide you are to continue on, you will be asked to provide documents that are necessary to complete your application, if you haven't provided these already, that is. Application form, your CV as a Word document, 2 written letters of reference from 2 recent and relevant work-related referees confirming you have work experience in your trade. As part of applying for your work visa with New Zealand Immigration, you need to have 3 years of verifiable experience in the trade you are applying for, i.e. carpenter, and you will need to provide written references to support this. The experience can either be within the Philippines or internationally. All references to support the above must be written, and those written references must include the following details: the position that you held within the company, the start and finish date within the company, if you held multiple roles or positions either at once or successively, i.e. if you were a carpenter, mason, or you started as a mason and then became a carpenter, the reference must quantify the amount of time served in each of the role or the division of hours between the roles. The reference must also be on letterhead and signed by your superior. The direct contact details, ideally phone and email, for that superior must also be on the reference, so that Immigration New Zealand can call or email them directly to verify the experience. International references and POA records. If you are supplying references from international jobs, then you must also provide POA records that match what your references say in regards to trade you apply for, i.e. carpenter. If the record shows mason, civil foreman, tiler, etc., then you cannot use the POA record to support your references. You need to also provide a recent NBI certificate and police certificate. Also a digital photograph of yourself of your head and shoulders, and a copy of your driver's license. Once we have all your documents and your reference checks have been completed, a final decision regarding your application will be made and you'll be emailed accordingly. If you are going to be given a job offer, you will be sent an email by myself confirming this, and it will include information regarding what is to happen next. It will be called "Congratulations on moving forward with Canstaff," and will include a list of costs associated with moving to New Zealand. You will need to read through it and complete and return it to Canstaff. If you do not have these funds already, you may need to seek funding. Heartland Immigration is a trusted business partner of Canstaff. They have handled many of our other applicants who have gone to New Zealand from both the Philippines, UK, Canada and Europe. They understand exactly what is needed to help you obtain your work visa, which is why we recommend you use them to help you. The cost of using Heartland Immigration is $1,750 New Zealand dollars, which is directly payable to Heartland. Full payment must be received prior to you leaving for New Zealand. SiteSafe is a mandatory 4-hour course that all construction workers in New Zealand must attend. The cost of this is $130 New Zealand dollars. Canstaff will book the course before you arrive in New Zealand and will pay for this on your behalf, and you will need to reimburse the $130 New Zealand upon arrival. IRD. You will need to obtain a New Zealand tax number. We strongly suggest you pay $10 New Zealand dollars directly to the Inland Revenue Department, as this will cover the cost of having your IRD application fast-tracked, so you can get your tax number within 2 working days. If you don't pay the $10 to get the application fast-tracked, the application may take up to 10 working days to be processed. This time frame may mean that you do not have a tax number in time for your first pay to be paid, resulting in your wages being taxed at a much higher rate. Transport and incidentals. We strongly recommend you bring with you $200 New Zealand dollars, which will cover any transport costs and any incidentals which may occur, i.e. purchasing a New Zealand power cord adapter. Accommodation and food. When you arrive, you will be staying in accommodation we've arranged for you with Annette Rutledge. As you will be there for approximately 2 weeks before your wages start, you will need to bring the funds with you to cover the first 2 weeks. At the accommodation, you will have 2 room options to choose from: a shared room for $285 New Zealand per week, or a single room for $350 per week. Food is inclusive for both options. So you can cover the first 2 weeks. Depending on which option you choose, you will need to bring with you either, for option 1, $700 New Zealand dollars, or option 2, $570 New Zealand dollars. This is payable upon arrival in New Zealand to the accommodation provider Annette. Our contract department will be in touch with your employment pack, which will include your job offer, employment contract, bonding agreement, tool list, tenancy agreement, and the deduction from wages for accommodation authority. The email will include full information regarding each document and how to proceed with them. We will also discuss them further during this video. The contract is an important document you need to read through carefully and seek independent advice if required. The starting rate is $20 per hour. There is opportunity for the rate to increase once you have worked in New Zealand and have proven your skills and experience in your trade. Wages are paid weekly into your New Zealand bank account on a Wednesday night, and you'll be able to access these on a Thursday. There are no official overtime rates in New Zealand. Most office workers work a standard 40-hour week. Most construction site workers work approximately 45 hours per week. Often during summertime or during busy times, these hours can increase to 50 or 60 and can include a Saturday. For immigration purposes, your contract will state Canstaff guarantees to pay a minimum of 120 hours per month. This covers you in case you are not able to work apart from illness, i.e. if the site is rained out. At the end of each 12 months of continuous service, an employee is entitled to 4 weeks paid annual holiday. The bonding agreement is a document you need to read through carefully and seek independent advice if required. As Canstaff have committed to pay some of the costs associated with recruitment and immigration, if the employee does not continue working for Canstaff for a minimum of 12 months, for any reason other than redundancy, then the employee will need to reimburse Canstaff for the costs incurred. Tools to bring. Along with your job offer, you will also receive a tool list. Please read through this carefully. You will need all the tools listed on the sheet to be able to work in New Zealand. It is very important to ensure you bring with you the wet weather gear, which includes a waterproof jacket and pants. The last thing you want is to be getting cold and sick from working outside in the rain. Tenancy agreement. When you are sent your job offer, you will also be sent a tenancy agreement for the accommodation. Please read through this carefully and seek independent advice if required. Deductions from wages for accommodation authority. You will also receive a deductions from wages for accommodation form, which you will need to sign and return. This will allow Canstaff to deduct your accommodation costs weekly from your wages and send it directly to the accommodation provider on your behalf. Once you have decided to accept the job offer, you will need to work with Heartland Immigration to obtain your work permit. As discussed during your interview, a member of the Heartland Immigration team will be in touch to introduce themselves. They will email you through a list of the documents they will need in order to prepare your application for New Zealand immigration, and the terms and conditions you will need to sign and return in order to authorise them to work on your behalf. You will need to cover the Heartland immigration fee, which is $1,750 New Zealand dollars. Canstaff will pay the New Zealand immigration application fee, which is charged when you submit your work visa, which is 10,300 pesos. Canstaff will pay for your flight from Manila to Christchurch. We've arranged for extra baggage allowance of up to 40 kilos so you can bring your tools with you. Once your work permit is approved, I will send you a number of emails outlining the steps you need to take from there. You will need to meet with long-term recruiting, and they will help you obtain POEA mandatory insurance, which is a cost of $72 which you will need to cover. Long-term recruiting will also help arrange your pre-departure orientation seminar. Once both of those have been signed off, they will be able to help you with an overseas employment certificate. In the meantime, we will arrange your flight, and once confirmed, we will email you the flight details. Before you leave the country to come to New Zealand, you will need to provide me a copy of your work permit, your OEC and confirmation you've paid Heartland immigration fees. For accommodation, you'll be able to stay at suitable accommodation which Annette has sourced for you. It is purpose-built accommodation for workers for the Christchurch rebuild. They provide a welcome booklet for all new arrivals which outlines basic information on the accommodation, what is provided, bus routes and timetables and general Christchurch information. Free Wi-Fi is included so you can keep in touch with your family and friends, which we know is very important. Also, all your linen is included and a fresh set is provided each weekend. As discussed previously, there are two options in regards to your room. You can either choose to have a shared room at a cost of $285 per person per room, or have a single room at a cost of $350 per person per room. Food. All your food is provided for. Breakfast is self-service from a varied selection. Lunch is packaged and ready for collection as you leave for work, and dinner is ready from 5:30 p.m. onwards, waiting for you after a hard day's work. There is always hot drinks available along with snacks outside of meal times. There are 3 different transport options for work and all of them have a different cost associated. You will need to work out which one will be most suitable for you. You can take a bus, purchase your own means of transport, i.e. car, bicycle, or you can take the accommodation shuttle which will pick you up from your accommodation and deliver you directly to your work site. The cost of this is varied between $40 to $50 per week depending on the location of your work site. Arrival and induction. Once your visa has been approved and you have obtained all your funding and emailed all your requested documents to Canstaff, you will receive an email from myself providing you with your arrival and induction information. When you arrive at the airport in Christchurch, our liaison officer Pete will be there waiting for you with your name on a board. He will take you to your accommodation. The next day, he will pick you up again in the morning to bring you into our office to meet us and watch our health and safety video and pick up your induction pack. You will also meet your consultant who has arranged your employment. They will meet with you and discuss where you are to work and provide details. They will also issue your necessary PPE gear. Your consultant is the person that you will need to be in touch with if you have any problems or issues or concerns. But you can still get in touch with me as well. From there, Pete will take you for your induction and help you with a number of things. Banking is with BNZ, which is a major New Zealand bank, and you can open your bank accounts there. Tax, we will help you obtain a mandatory tax number with IRD. Phone, when you open an account with BNZ, you will be provided a free phone number. Bus pass, for those who require it, you will receive help obtaining a bus pass. And Pete will give you a tour of Christchurch so you can get to know your new city. You will most likely start work the following Monday. Your consultant will give you a call or text to check on how you're going and see if you need help with anything. On the second Thursday of each month, Canstaff are proud to co-host a Newcomers Mixer evening. This is from 6 p.m. till 7:30 and we provide free drinks and nibbles and a chance to catch up with fellow overseas workers living in Christchurch and find out what's happening around town. It's also a great chance to catch up with the Canstaff team as we'll be there as well. You can come in your clothes straight from work, you don't need to worry about dressing up. We look forward to working with you during this process.
Are you winning? Come to Christchurch. There's endless jobs, a great place to live, and a city that's just about to take off. Be a part of it.
There's guaranteed work building a new city, get as much work as you want in construction.
Christchurch is going to be like a brand new city. It's going to have a lot of new stuff, a lot of new bars, restaurants. It's a really exciting time.